guys, welcome back to our channel.
Yes, we are back. So
we're back at it again with another video. In this video we're going to be talking about things you probably shouldn't keep asking people who are struggling with fertility. We get tons of messages from, women and men asking like, how do you dealing with infertility? And honestly, I don't know. It's really hard. Like, there are definitely better times, and then there are definitely times where I'm like, I just want to rip my hair out. I think last year was probably the hardest year for me, and I think this year has been the hardest year for Jordan. So we're kind of like, I don't know, we're really taking it day by day and trying to support each other. But like I said, in this video we're going to be talking about maybe things you shouldn't be asking people who are struggling with fertility, so like you can kind of educate yourself. This is more for those people. The first thing I want to say is like, when you kind of put it out there that you're trying for a baby, people always want to like keep asking, and it's just a natural curiosity. But I feel like after a year, if your friend or your family member is like, they're still not having the baby, just kind of assume that they're having fertility issues, and like it becomes like exhausting and really discouraging month after month that you take a pregnancy test and you're not pregnant. It becomes very, very stressful, and it's really, really hard. Another thing is like, oh well, if you haven't got pregnant yet, just have sex with your husband.
It's like hold on, I'll write this down. Oh, I got my phone. You said with husband.
I hate when people say that to me. It annoys the shit out of me when people say, "Oh, just have sex with your husband." Honey, I have more scheduled sex with my husband. It's almost a chore now. I showed someone my ovulation calendar before, and they were like, "What are all these hearts and these numbers next to these hearts?" I was like, "That's every time I've had sex with my husband. So don't say have sex with your husband again to me." Like, sometimes it just isn't happening, and when people say that to me, it really annoys me. Like, I don't know that I'm supposed to have sex with my husband. I have if you're dealing with fertility issues, like, it's literally a chore at that point, having sex, because you're like, there are some days you're just like, I don't want to do it, and you're over it. It's like, wash the dishes, feed the cat, have sex with your husband, okay? So quit saying that. It gets on people's nerves.
I feel like you're talking to someone directly.
I'm not talking to anyone directly. I'm just saying, whenever someone says, "Oh, just have sex with your husband," I'm like, I will hit you in the face.
Jesus.
Like, it annoys me. And a lot of people who message me, they tell me how annoying that question is. So stop asking it. Another thing is, oh, you're having trouble having a baby, just adopt or get a surrogate.
Yeah, I mean, adoption. And here's the thing, like, and this is where it always gets a little heated, which is strange, because as someone who's going through fertility, you shouldn't have to justify what you're trying to do. You shouldn't have to justify that, hey, I want to have my own baby first before adopting, which is what we want to do.
On our Q&A, a lady said something, and it really was like, yeah, people who don't struggle with fertility issues, they're like, oh, well, there's so many options out there. There is, but I feel like you still want to go through that pregnancy. You want to go through having your own. And I'm not taking away from those blended families at all, but like, I feel like you're constantly having to justify why you haven't adopted or why you haven't just found a surrogate. You have to constantly justify that, and it's annoying. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Okay, it doesn't just work like that, you know. And is some a little bit of letting go issues of like, well, I won't be experiencing that. You don't realize how important those things are until you're like, oh, I might not get to do them. So it's just like, just I feel like you can have an opinion about it, but like constantly saying it. Like we have a lady who messages us all the time. Just adopt. That's what it says in almost every message she sends us, and it's. I even told her. We've told her many a times why we haven't just gone out and adopted, and I don't mind sharing those things, but it's just like, at what point in time do you say like, just stop asking? So just like, kind of like think about what those people really want in life, you know what I mean? Like, or what, I feel like it's hard to justify, and I feel like you shouldn't have to justify it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like, you got to experience it, and she wants to. I mean, we both want to. Like, honestly, the day she asked me at 2 o'clock in the morning to go grab her or something that she's crazy, I'm like, man, why'd you wake me up? But to us, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, we look forward to the little things,
Yeah.
the ups and downs, and of course having our own. And I don't think people understand the costs of surrogacy or adoption.
I don't even know how surrogacy works.
I mean, there's a lot of legal aspects behind it, but anyway, it's like,
it's
there's
also
a lot of financial backing behind that we've already put towards trying to have our own, and then it's like, we're still going to do that.
Yeah, and then asking someone to be your surrogate is not the easiest thing to do. Like, I'm sure we have people in our life who would just do it, but like, how do you ask someone just to be your surrogate? Like, I don't know if that is our road to where we're going, but like, it's a lot to ask someone like, oh, we've been trying for this amount of time, would you have our baby? That's a lot to ask. That's 9 months out of that person's life that they're gonna have to kind of like give up almost, because there's a lot that goes into like prenatal care, and that is a lot to ask someone, and there just is a lot of things that go into those, you know, it's just not as
so cut and dry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's also the factor of when it comes to infertility, and it seems like everyone you know has had baby number 1, or has now, you know, gotten pregnant, has had number 2, or about to have number 3. It's kind of like, when those people kind of go like, oh, well, we did this and stuff like that, and you should do this and you should do that, and we're kind of like, well, we are trying the medical route, we have tried the herbal route, things along those lines. You know, always be aware, what works for you might not work for someone else. Just like with taste, what you might find absolutely delicious, someone might find repulsive. Everyone's different, and a fact of how, you know, they conceive, and a fact of how, you know, their life is. I mean, there's some people out there who could literally out of their pocket say, oh, it's gonna cost me $100,000 to have a baby, here you go. And there's people who are using insurance, and there's different ways of doing things, you know, because she has PCOS. Nowhere, like, and every doctor said, oh, it's slight, it's not that bad, there's no issue. But then you have women who are literally growing like full-blown facial hair and causing drastic body changes to them and everything. So there's such a huge spectrum when it comes to trying to have a baby, that people need to be aware of, you know, what they're saying. And we're not saying basically keep your head down and be quiet.
No, but
you know?
It's just like dealing with infertility, like I said earlier, it's very like draining and discouraging. And when you say some of these things to some of these people who are at their darkest moment at that point in time, it can be very hurtful, and you're going to say it to the wrong person, and she's going to either go off on you, or she's going to just cry. Like, some of the messages we get from like ladies who are at their darkest moment right now, it breaks my heart, like, because I remember being at that point, like, and that's not saying that I won't go back to that point. Like I said, last year was a very, very tough year for me. I had tried all these like herbal things. I had tried, if somebody recommended it to me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get this. Oh, I'm gonna get this. You know, or I'll try this. You know, and then once they just, after month after month, when it wasn't working, it got to that point where I was like, why the hell am I even doing this anymore? You know, I'm miserable. I'm focusing on this so much, and I was just really unhappy. And like I said, you're gonna say it to someone who's in that moment where they're like, I'm just ready to throw in the towel and not do it anymore. You're gonna say these hurtful things to them, and you just don't know how it affects that other person.
Because the thing is, like this video, Garrett, we get those messages a lot, but it was more inspired by the people who are messaging us about, like we always thought it was like us, like why do people keep asking? But when other people message us the same exact stuff, and like,
but
how
also,
do you?
I feel like people don't want to be open about it because it's sad, like to think that you're not going to be able to like have a baby. It's very, very sad, and I feel like we don't. It's very like, and this happens to a lot of people, like, and we just don't talk about it, and we don't come together as a community to talk about it, and that's why I like talking about it, so people can be like, you know what, it's okay that I felt very sad in this moment. It's okay that I felt very like discouraged in this moment, and I need to push forward and go through that for the good times, because it makes you appreciate the good times even more after you've gone through all these bad times. After I was like, you know what, I'm not going to focus on it as much, and kind of just like move on and take that breath and just breathe, and like was like, you know what, I'm not going to focus on this, I'm going to focus on something else. I was a lot happier, and it is easier said than done, but like I said, just be aware of what you're saying to people, because what you can say in someone's dark moment can be very, very hurtful.
Here's the thing, it also goes along with the guys as well too. Now granted, I don't suffer from like low sperm count or things on those lines, and I have a lot of gentlemen that will message me about that, and it's very like emasculating, and I can really understand that, because while I'm not going through I'm not going through the infertility part of feeling that way, there are like some life things that have happened before, but it's like you as a man can't do a simple job of helping, you know, your wife get pregnant, and a lot of men say it affects them so bad that, you know, it starts to, very. And here's the thing too, like, and I don't mind talking about sex or anything like that, but a lot of guys even said, like, you know, it takes me so out of the mood that I can't do anything, that I can't really have sex with my wife, because I'm just so clogged in my head. And the thing is,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, sex for guys, it's literally emotional. If a man is not right in his mind, it's hard to make himself in the mood.
Right.
And some ED that's not medical is basically just you're having such a mental clout that it makes it difficult. And the thing is too, for men too, it's another thing of, you know, talking about it, especially to your partner. You don't have to go to like groups and talk about it, but talk about it with your partner, because she needs to know that how you feel, because you might be digging yourself into a hole, and she might not even she's like, oh, something's wrong, but you always say, oh no, nothing, and then you're gonna just erupt or something, or you're gonna shut her out. And the thing is, when you all are going through that, that's where you can cause marital shifts, to the point where you're just kind of like, you know, because I've read many messages, I don't know if you've seen them too, where they're like, yeah, she left me or he left me, and it's just like,
that makes me sad. I think I don't know what to say in those messages, but it's very hard on a relationship dealing with infertility stuff, because you get so asphyxiated on it. Like when I was really asphyxiated on it, it was tough on Jordan, and then now that he's been really asphyxiated on it, it's been a little tough on me. You just have to just unite. Like that's one good thing about like dealing with like tragedy, is you really see who's there for you, and how you can become stronger. So just staying strong for your husband or your wife, just like you just gotta talk things out and don't keep secrets. I feel like once I let a lot of my stuff off my chest, I was like, I felt freed. So I mean, it's a tough situation, and I mean, we don't have all the answers at all. Like, we're still figuring things out. There are people who, you know, we've gone through it for 3 years. There are people who've gone through it for 10 years. And I read that and I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. And never compare struggles at all. Like,
No, don't compare struggles.
I see that for some reason, especially on like Reddit and groups, people want to compare struggles. Like, they're like, oh, we've been trying for 3 years. Well, we've been trying for this and this. And let's never do that. One, it makes yourself look like an ass.
I
but
feel
two,
like once you struggle for a whole year, you can complain about
Yeah.
infertility. Alright guys, well we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like it, comment below, and follow us on our Instagram. We post over there a lot, and we'll be posting over there more. We take an on and off break from it, you know. Sometimes, you know, we just gotta do what we gotta do, you know. We have other jobs besides these. So, that's all I have to add.
Yep. Alright.
Alright, bye!